Answers to this and many more can be found on one of our supporters' websites. That's homeownershipuniversity.com. If you really want to get involved on a deep level and have a deep conversation, this is a great place to get that.
You can hit me up on chat.
You can hit her. Yeah, that's right. On the live chat, you might be able to talk to Elisa on that.
That's true.
Or if you're really old-fashioned and you can't get on, then another one of our supporters is Equity Partners Property. They just have a telephone, and you call them at 562-413-1030, and they actually talk to you. Yeah, I know, a little old-fashioned, but what are you going to do? Let's talk foreclosure stuff.
Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
Oh, my God.
All right. So today, with Big Bank Frank.
Oh, my God.
Are you saying Big Bang? Because it sounds like you're saying Big Bang.
Not Big Bang. That would be the Big Bang
Hey,
Theory.
I was young and I needed the money.
Do you guys like that show? Because I'm still on the fence. I'm still on the fence with that show.
It did better than American Idol last couple of weeks or something.
Shut up.
Oh, yeah.
It beat out American. Nobody beats out American Idol.
It matched it or beat it, something like that.
Wow.
Hey, man.
Okay, I'm calling him Big Bank Frank.
Okay.
It wouldn't work because his name isn't Frang. So you can't go Big Bang Frang.
Big Bang Frank.
Yeah, the whole thing is to have it, rhyme a little bit and sound alike. Okay, so what are we going to talk about as far as foreclosure forecast or foreclosure update? The counter offer process for REO/foreclosures. What are the best practices? So Frank, you are going to now, and everybody get your pencils out because Frank is going to tell us some best practices for counter offering a foreclosure.
Jonas, are you listening?
It's a little different than, let's say, an equity sale. When you send your offers to for a foreclosed property, that agent doesn't take that offer immediately from the list day one and send it to the bank. Usually, the agent is instructed to wait a few days to let the property sit on market and season a little bit, and then
let it season.
Well, yeah,
let it simmer.
Let it season a little bit because the counter process is, although it's not complicated, it can get drawn out and just go on and on and on and on. So to prevent that standard way that people do things, the bank has a procedure. So we let the property sit on the market for a few days and wait for the offers, and hopefully it's obviously multiple offers, to accumulate. And after a few days, when it looks like, okay, we've got 6-7 offers are coming in, the phone calls are slowing down, the showings are slowing down, and nothing more seems to be on the table, then we submit all the offers to the bank. The bank takes a couple of days to review everything, and then they basically counter everybody. And they counter everybody the same, usually.
So what did they change the rules for banks? Because if I'm not mistaken, the rules said that you must present offers in a certain time period to a seller.
Well, that's the thing. The certain time period is usually after a couple of few days of seasoning. And the reason they do that is because if on day one I get 2 offers, I send it to the bank, then they're obligated to counter as soon as they can, basically, usually within about 48 hours.
Right.
So they can counter those 2 people. What if 2 offers come in a day later? Then the bank's is obligated to counter not only those 2 new offers, but the people that they originally countered. So they're countering 4 people. And what if another 2 come in a day after that?
But that could go on infinitum.
It can, exactly.
Eventually, they got to stop and make some counter offers.
Well, that's why we wait for as many offers as we think during the rush to come in, so we can counter everybody at the same time as much as possible.
See, this is one of my biggest pet peeves, though. This is.
Do I hear a Dean rant?
This is going to be short.
Is this about Europe?
Go ahead.
No,
the bond market.
Europe. Well, because traditionally a counter offer is, okay, this is the offer that you made me. That's an okay offer, but I'm suggesting that you change this, this, and this. More down payment, something like this. I'm not going to pay for this. I'm not going to pay for that. That's not what the banks do. The banks sit there and they collect all of these things, and then they do what's called a blanket counter offer, and they don't look at any of the other offers. They don't know what the other offers are. The people who made the offers don't know what anybody else's offers are, but the banks say, okay, now that you've made your offer, now make your best offer.
Yeah, but
what the hell is that?
Well, I'm with you on this, Frank.
The thing, they counter everyone the same, though, which is usually it's going to be highest and best.
Right.
But it's
That's not a counter.
But it's not a counter. It's just them coming back and saying, okay, you're all interested. I get it. Now make me your best offer.
Duke it out.
Now make me your best offer.
Yeah,
And
that's not a real
crap.
counter. There's a counter would be a number.
It's a negotiation.
You know?
That's not a negotiation.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, here's the thing.
Give me your highest and
Here's
best.
the thing. The reason they do this is because let's say they sent. Let's say we got 5 offers, and
Yep.
the high
Are
offer.
you
is,
defending them?
Oh yeah.
You know what?
Let's say the high offer is 10,000 over. The high offer is 10,000 over everybody else. In a conventional sale, that seller might say, "This one's 10,000 over everybody else. I just want to move on. Let's do it," and nobody else gets a chance. Even the people that may have gone above that offer, if given that second opportunity, they might have been the victorious party. But no, what the bank
presumption
does,
that the bank is making is that the offer that you made isn't what
your
you want to
best yet.
offer.
well, because they know that people don't
lowballing.
standardly come in highest and best right off the bat.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
But
they
I'll-
give
But you
the-
know what? I'm going to say I'm with you on this one, Frank, because I am. I know.
Uh-oh.
I know. I'm
You're-
going to wear the leopard coat with you. But here's the reason why. We have they're so flooded. This market is so flooded. Can you imagine if they had to go back to each and every single one? I was about to say the B word. We complain about it now. Can you imagine how much slower it would be if they didn't do the blanket offers?
But listen, I am not
not good for
debating the
consumers.
counter offer process. I'm debating the fact that a counter offer is give me your best.
But you know what? I think I'm with
Right.
Frank, where I really don't think, especially on REOs, people are trying to lowball that.
They are.
And they come in. It is not their highest and
and
best.
So
it's-
why wouldn't the bank just take it? Why don't you just cut it off, take those 10 offers, and
Pick the highest and best. Thank you.
What's
well,
wrong with that?
because here's the
Because they
thing.
could probably get more.
I've had
exactly. You just said it.
Last
Because
year-
I could get more.
Right.
Well,
it's business.
Well, last year, it
It's a business.
comes down to it is a business, and whether you feel sorry for the banks or not, and you don't, obviously.
It's a business.
Each house across the board.
Isn't that apparent?
Each house across the board has probably lost 100% and then some of value on each one of those homes for the default borrowers. Okay, so
I get no.
Now imagine if they are
get
taking
it.
those
I just
losses.
think
But
it's
back to
sleazy.
it, this continually happens though. It could be sleazy on a buyer part too,
Yep.
though, that they're presenting this lowball offer when they know very well they really want the home and they're really willing to go this far for it. And I've had many occasions where
But
the
that
lowest offer comes in 20,000 below. And they end up winning and going 10,000 over.
Yep.
They could have in the first presentation of it, but would they have been given the opportunity to get that home if the seller had just taken the first round of offers and chose the one that they thought was the best, and so be it?
Okay,
Well,
well,
that's
It's a two-way
And
street.
it takes too long to
my
go
God,
back to
this
each
topic
one.
is so hot.
Yeah, and that's why I brought it up, because I think people get confused on the buyer side, or even the agents themselves. Well, my offer is above list price. Why don't you just take me? And
Okay,
that's
well,
just
I
not
have a
the way it
question for you
works.
then, Frank. So, from a consumer standpoint,
Yeah.
if I'm going to make an offer, does it matter? I mean, if I submit an offer for $1, am I going to get that counter offer and give me the
and
opportunity
here's the thing,
to
and-
go out?
Yes, you are.
And the equal and fair right policy of the bank is, even if you only bid $1, they're going to give you a second chance. But this is pretty much the final chance for everybody. Come back, do your highest and best. And here's the thing. People do come back higher, but then ask for more concessions back and things like
Yep.
that. And I'll tell the agent, okay, you're coming $10,000 higher, but you're asking for basically $10,100 more in concessions back. The bank's going to figure it out when they do the tally.
They're pretty good with
and
numbers.
You're actually lower than your original offer.
Frank, will
you know?
they do specific offers once they narrow it down at that point, or do they just choose one and go with
here's
it?
the thing: if everybody, let's say five of five, of course, come back, and 2 of them come back very strong, the other 3 come back with their original offer, they don't make any changes, then usually at that point, if the offers are just so similar, they'll come back. And they might get
might make
particular.
specific or
They might say both
some things
Yeah,
out
they
or
might say we'll give you $2,500 instead of $3,500 in concession to you, and then we won't do termite over here. They'll go back, but usually they're going to try and be fair across the board for both parties and give each party the decision-making power to see who really wants.
Okay,
the
my
property.
turn. To me, this is just stupid. It's like telling a child, if you do that, I swear to God, one more time, you do that. What you know how a parent will do it? I'm warning you. 1, 2, they'll start counting. The bank's doing the same thing. Why don't they just say, Give us your offers, and then if a bunch of people come in and lowball,
Maybe they'll do that when the buyer comes in and brings their best.
They don't say no to him, Frank. They say, I'm countering everybody equally. Just say no to the low ball.
But see, that's the thing.
Dork.
I'll tell you what. I'm gonna step a little bit over onto the other side.
Oh
now.
no, I'm all alone.
No, you're not alone.
Elisa brought it up.
Because I agree with you on this side, and what I think is important, an important lesson out of this is the real estate agent that you're working with should educate you on this process so that the buyer knows how to be competitive if they really want to make that.
Or a super cool radio station should educate you with one of their greatest shows ever on Saturdays at 10 a.m.
Well, they would know that their agent is not as familiar as Big Bank Frank would be. So you would need to use somebody that's familiar with this process.
I love
that's
that
educating
segue.
you. That's educating you on the process, so that you can be competitive.
And
so it's different, and it doesn't make a lot of sense. But having good professionals working on your team is
honestly, I apologize if anyone took this whole topic wrong. But to me, I think it's fantastic that the banks would give someone who came in with an offer 50, like disgustingly much lower than the list price, give you a second opportunity to redeem yourself or possibly even get the property.
They did not give you a second opportunity because they have no idea. They never looked at it.
They didn't look at it.
No.
They just blanketed all 12 offers.
No, that's the thing is I have to send in all the offers, and they do look at the all the numbers, but they still are going to come back usually with
Frank,
a blanket.
Okay, here's one.
Yeah.
The house is listed for $125,000. 10 offers come in. One of them's $158,000 with no concessions. Don't start with me.
Never going to praise.
The rest of them come in around $125,000.
Yeah.
The bank's going to counter them all. Give me your highest and best. Or they're just going to take the $158,000. It's cash, by the way. We don't need an appraisal.
They're going to counter everyone to be fair, but they might have in mind that we can already see who's positioned himself for victory.
Right. But if you counter me, I can lower my offer from 158 to 138.
Yeah, most highest and best.
Here's the thing.
People would react by reducing it.
And I think people are missing a big point here out there.
What are they missing?
They're missing that the bank is actually being fair by giving everyone a second opportunity. Honestly, because I have had the winning buyer initially send the lowest offer in, and they knew they could go much higher. But if you're not cheating, you're not trying. So you got to try it. And if the bank were to say, we'll take it.
That's a big bank term.
No, I'm just saying that's actually from the buyer's perspective. Like with a cash buyer, the cash buyer is always going to come in as low as they can to see if maybe the bank says yes. Maybe the seller says yes. If they don't, then they're usually going to start weeding themselves up to what the realistic
I don't get
is.
this nearly as much as they did, but I mean, back when this kind of started in 2008, I just had a lot of buyers come back just freaking out that what does this mean? What does this mean, highest and best? I just made my best offer, and because they weren't trying to cheat, and so it really caught them off guard.
Here's the thing: the second round, after they come back with their highest and best, then they're meticulously looking at everything because they have to separate at that point because they want to make a decision.
And again, this just goes to being educated about that process going into it, and I think it's all right.
As much as I love this topic, and as much as I love it when we all get kind of fired up because it makes for much better radio than not being fired up. It's time to move on. So, Frank, I got to give you the opportunity to take this topic and break it down for people.
Basically, everyone's going to get a second opportunity, and everybody's going to get that counter. It is likely going to be blanket, but on your next approach, make it your final approach. Go for broke because you might not get a third opportunity, truly. So that's the best advice for you agents to give your buyers. Your buyer may have tested the waters the first time, but the second time they got to be real about things and put it all on the table.
They got to be real. They got to keep it real like we do here at Keeping It Real Estate. Nice.